The 5% rule. How to stand out without burning out. In this video, I'm going to talk about a concept which you've probably heard over and over again, and that is to always under-promise and over-deliver. And this is a cornerstone in the pursuit of excellence, building your reputation and the way others perceive you, both in your life and in business. Hi, I'm Sam. I'm the co-founder of Kingdom Impact Lab, along with my wife Tattoo, and we are on a mission to try to help people pursue Christ-likeness in their day-to-day lives. I'm focusing in particular on helping people pursue Christ-likeness in their business and finances, so they can have more meaning, purpose and fulfillment in their day-to-day actions in their business. They always feel passionate about the work that they do because they're serving a higher purpose, and basically it's how to operate your business in a way to have the biggest kingdom impact possible. And the framework that we are teaching is the LIGHT framework, inspired by the Sermon on the Mount, Salt and Light. And that stands for love, integrity, generosity, humble service and transformative excellence. This video series here is exploring the concept of excellence. And in this video we want to talk about the 5% rule. Now, this is very interesting because I was using ChatGPT to help me come up with video ideas on the practical application of the pursuit of excellence. And this is something that ChatGPT came up with. Now, the interesting thing is that several years back, this was before freedom of marketing, when I was a freelancer, and it was when I had my freelance business called Moneymaker Copy. And I remember writing books and resources for my freelancing. And one of the things that I used to talk about was the 5% rule, which is something that I came up with myself, which is always to deliver 5% more than what is expected of you. In that particular context, it was if you promise to make someone $10,000 a month in sales, for example, then you will go above and beyond, and then if you deliver 10,500, you make a point of telling that, hey, I've exceeded expectations this month, and all of this here, which would boost your credibility in the eyes of the client. Now, way back then, this was all basically in the context of how to justify the fee that you're earning from a client. So it's fascinating that this is actually turned up again, because it's something that I've tried to apply in my life for years and years and years. And the reason why I actually started to explore the concept of the 5% rule was I always over-deliver, always go the extra mile. But if you're busy and you're working with multiple clients and there's only you in your business, how do you go the extra mile for everyone without getting burned out? Because it's so easy to focus all your time, energy, effort and resources on one client going the extra mile, but then what about everything else in your life? And that does lead to burnout. And so the 5% rule is a good one to kind of having to apply. And the practical application is that if you, simple things, it'd be, if you say that you're going to have the project done by the end of the week on Friday, instead of giving it done at 5 p.m. on Friday when you know I'm going for the weekend, you could set yourself, you could tell the person you're going to have it done by Friday, but you could set your own goal to give it them on Friday morning, so they have all day Friday to review it, or even better, that you'll actually deliver them on Thursday. So you tell the person you're working with you'll have it on this specific day, but you set yourself the target of delivering it a day earlier, and that goes the extra mile. If you are promising to help someone in coaching, for example, or consulting, and you have one-on-one time with them, the purpose of a call that you would have might be to uncover the problems they're facing or the bottlenecks in the business, or discuss the strategy and whatever they're doing in the business. All that would be the purpose of the call. But you can also factor in the call may go a little bit longer if the client is flexible. So not to book back-to-back calls if you can. And then you can use an extra 10 minutes, maybe either at the start of the call or after the call. Ideally at the start of the call, if you set expectations, and just say, hey, we've got an hour on this call. I've got another call. I've booked the next call 30 minutes after this one, and the reason is because for the first 10 minutes I'd like to just talk and see how you're doing and how you and your family's doing, and remember the name of the spouse, remember the name of the kids, remember birthdays, and you only have to ask them, and then take a note and follow up and show that you actually care. And then after you have the initial conversation with them, you can then give them the full 1 hour of your time afterwards. That is going the extra mile, and people will appreciate that all the time. In my case, when I've worked with coaches in the past, usually they block off the first 10 minutes or so of getting, the catching up and things and asking how you've been and building rapport. But then the remainder of the call is 50 minutes. So in the past I was paying someone probably the equivalent of maybe 100, based on the exchange, maybe just for numbers' sake, about $120 per hour as a business coach. So that is pretty much $2 per minute. But the first 10 minutes was kind of chit-chatting and getting to know you. So I'll pretty much spend $20 on just talking basically and catching up with someone on a twice a week basis, which over the course of 10 sessions, that's $200. It's a lot of money. So instead of doing that, to go the extra mile, to over deliver by 5% and to show that you actually care, you can just you can say to the client, I want to have 10 minutes of getting to know you and catching up, and then after that 10 minutes you'll have the full 60 minutes. So the total duration of your call will be 1 hour plus 10 minutes for the price of the 1 hour call, and people will appreciate it. And a third way of going the extra mile, which if you're a Christian business owner, which is what my target audience is at the moment, this is something that you can do, and that is that if you're working with a client or a customer or anyone, someone on your team, what you can do is you can ask them if there's anything that you can pray for them. I'm currently doing this in my outreach efforts on LinkedIn, and I'm getting a pretty good response, which I'm impressed with, I'm happy with. The reason is because it aligns with the concept of love and offering to pray for someone, especially someone that you don't know, or someone that is not a client or a prospect or in any funnel in your business. So you are praying for them, and there is nothing they can do in return in the present moment. It's probably the most selfless thing that you can actually do, and that's aligns with love, L in light, and G, generosity, and that's how you can go the extra mile. So if you're interacting with someone, you can always just ask them, is there anything that we can pray for you? And a lot of the time, people are going to say yes. Even non-Christians are going to say yes, because business owners are often willing to try anything that might get them a result. And it's unlikely that you'll get anyone say no afterwards. And then that gives you a meaningful way to follow up with people afterwards. And people will appreciate it. That's my experience personally when I've been going through a tough time and someone's offered to pray for me unexpectedly. That that same person sticks in my mind. And incidentally, we saw the same person that offered to pray for me when a relative died earlier this year, when I was in a tough place. Didn't really know him that well. We saw him at a restaurant with his wife last week, and we just went up and paid for his meal without telling them. We just paid for it and then we just left. And that's the kind of things that's what I did because of what he prayed for us when we needed it, and it was, you know, the return of favour, so to speak. And so if you do that for other people, you will be a blessing to them, and they will reciprocate things in the future as well. So that's it. That is the 5% rule, and the 3 ways that we've discussed here was, if you have a specific deadline that you commit to, which aligns with make your yes your yes, what you can do is you can tell the person you'll give it them on Friday, but you set yourself a target of giving them on Thursday. Always 1 day in advance of when you tell them that you're going to get them. The second way was, what was the second way? I have forgotten. The third way was to offer to pray for people. Just will take you a couple of minutes to do. Oh, and the third way is, if you have a call with someone, tell them a 1 hour call, ask them if they can do 1 hour and 10 minutes, and start 10 minutes early or finish 10 minutes late, and then use that 10 minutes to kind of get to know them, ask how they're doing, rather than doing that anyway on the call and charging them for it. Okay, so that is the 5% rule on how to go above and beyond without burning out. That's all. See you next time.